In 1969, an American psychologist named Mary Ainsworth placed a mother and her young child in a room filled with toys, and she just observed. The child left the mother's side and crawled toward the toys, exploring, touching, and investigating everything around them. And then, without anyone calling, without any signal, the child turned their head back, not to ask for anything, not because they were lost. Just a glance, a quick check-in. Ainsworth called this the secure-based check-in. The behavior of looking back toward the person you trust to confirm that the world is still okay. And for the next 50 years, this was considered a uniquely human behavior. Then, in 2013, researchers at the University of Vienna decided to try something that no one had ever thought of before. They ran that exact same experiment with dogs. Your dog is about 65 feet away from you in the park, which is 20 meters. It has its nose buried in something on the ground, completely focused. And then, without being called, for no obvious reason, it turns its head back, looks toward you. You might have thought it was a habit, a normal reflex, nothing special. It is not. That glance has a specific scientific name. It has a clear biological mechanism behind it. And what it says about the relationship between you and your dog is much deeper than anything you have ever thought. And the final thing we will talk about in this video, the reason why some dogs never do this, is what changes everything. We will leave that for the end because it is something that most dog owners get completely wrong. This video is not about commands. It is not about training. It is about a specific behavior that your dog performs. Quietly, briefly, easily overlooked, but it contains more information about your relationship with them than almost anything else they do. If your dog does this, you need to understand what it means. If your dog used to do this and now no longer does, that is equally important. We will get to that. Let us start from the very beginning. Your dog is running, sniffing, and exploring something that completely captures its attention. And then it stops, turns its head toward you, looks for a second, and then goes right back to what it was doing. Most dog owners read that moment in only one way. The dog is checking to see if you are still there. That is true, but it is not enough. Because the real question is not whether you are physically present. Your dog knows you are here. It can smell you from 10 times that distance. The question that glance is asking is completely different. It is not asking if you are here. It is asking if you are okay. That glance is not a check on your location. It is a check on your emotional state, about the level of safety you are radiating in that moment, and about whether the world, through your eyes, is normal. This is the difference between a dog that looks at you as a spatial reference point and a dog that looks at you as a source of emotional information. And that difference is not small. Your dog is not looking for you. Your dog is reading who you are in that exact moment. To understand why your dog does this, we need to go back to 1969. Mary Ainsworth was an American-Canadian psychologist who built the foundation for the entire modern science of attachment, the bond between an individual and the person they trust the most. In her strange situation experiment, the child was placed in an unfamiliar room with the mother. When the mother was present, the child explored freely, moving away and touching everything. It took risks. When the mother left the room, everything changed instantly. The child stopped exploring and stayed in one place. The confidence disappeared. Ainsworth called the mother a secure base, a safe foundation. Not because the mother did anything special, but because her presence allowed the child to believe that the world was safe enough to explore. And those backward glances, those brief check-ins while the child was playing, they were not signs of anxiety. They were proof of a system working perfectly. The child explores because they know someone is there to look back. For 50 years after that experiment, this framework was applied to child psychology, adult relationships, and trauma therapy. And then, in 2013, a group of researchers in Vienna asked the question that no one had dared to ask before. What happens if we try this with dogs? Lisa Horn and her colleagues at the University of Vienna designed an experiment with 3 conditions. The first condition: the owner was present in the room, interacting and responsive to the dog. The second condition: the owner was present but unresponsive. looking down, making no contact. The third condition, the owner was not in the room. In all three conditions, the dog was given access to a problem, a device containing food that it needed to solve. The results could not have been clearer. When the owner was present and responsive, the dog explored freely, trying and persisting. It looked back, following the exact pattern that Ainsworth had described 50 years earlier. When the owner was present but unresponsive, the dog performed significantly worse, and its confidence dropped. The backward glances still happened, but they received no response, and gradually they became less frequent. When the owner was absent, exploration almost stopped completely, and the most important finding in the entire study. This pattern of looking back appeared strongest with the person with whom the dog had a deep bond. With strangers, this behavior barely appeared. The University of Vienna did not just prove that your dog loves you. They proved that your dog uses you as a biological tool to regulate its own nervous system. It is not love in the sense we usually use the word. It is something more structured than love, something deeply embedded in biology. If this is changing the way you look at what your dog does, that is exactly the purpose of this channel. Subscribe, because this channel does this every single week. So in that 1-second glance, what is your dog reading? It is not just simply confirming that you are standing there. Research by Goxi and colleagues in Hungary in 2008 documented a phenomenon called left gaze bias, the tendency to look slightly to the left when observing human faces. Remarkably, dogs do this only with human faces, not with the faces of other dogs. The left side of the human face is where emotions are most clearly expressed, controlled by the right hemisphere of the brain, the emotional processing center. Your dog has evolved to read your face faster and more accurately than any other species on this planet. In that 1 second, it reads your expression, your body posture, and your emotional state. If you are stressed, if you are looking at your phone anxiously, or if your body is holding tension, your dog notices all of it in that exact moment, and its reaction changes immediately. The next time your dog looks back at you in the park, try this. Look straight into its eyes, smile gently, and nod a little bit. Watch what happens next. Your dog is not checking up on you. Your dog is checking who you are being in that exact moment. Not all dogs do this, and the absence of this behavior, when a dog never looks back, never checks in, and explores as if you are not even there, is not a sign of independence. It is not a personality trait. It is information. There are 3 main reasons why a dog does not perform a secure base check-in. The first reason, the bond is not deep enough yet. A secure base is not something that happens automatically from day 1. It is built over time, through consistency, and by you becoming a predictable source in the life of your dog. If the bond has not reached that threshold, this behavior will not appear yet. The second reason, a history of trauma or inconsistency. Dogs learn very quickly. If, in the past, those times they looked back and the owner was not there, did not respond, or responded unpredictably, they stop looking back. It is not because they do not need to, but because they learned that it does not mean anything. The third reason, anxious attachment. This is the exact opposite of what you might think. A highly anxious dog does not explore freely, not because it does not trust you, but because it never feels safe enough to move away from you in the first place. It does not look back because it never actually goes far. If your dog does not look back, it is not proof that they are not bonded to you. It is information about what they believe regarding safety. The good news is that a secure base is not something you are either born with or without. It is something that is built. There are 3 specific things you can do to become a true secure base for your dog. The first thing, respond when they check in. When a dog looks back, most owners do nothing at all. They look at their phones, look away, or do not notice. To the nervous system of a dog, that silence is read as an unsafe signal. You do not need to do anything big. A glance back, a calm expression, or a gentle nod is enough to confirm, the world is okay, keep going. The second thing, be consistent with your emotional state. Your dog does not need you to always be happy. It needs you to be predictable. Emotional unpredictability, Being enthusiastic one moment, cold the next, or stressed for no apparent reason is read by the dog as a threat. Not a perfect mood, but a predictable mood. The third thing, let them explore without constantly calling them back. Every time you call your dog back unnecessarily, you are disrupting the exact loop that this behavior needs to develop. A secure base works when the dog is allowed to leave and chooses to return on its own. This is not about obedience. It is not about commands. This is about attunement, the harmony between two nervous systems that have learned to read each other. Let us pause for a moment and look at the bigger picture. If your dog does this, if it walks away, explores freely, looks back periodically, and then continues, there is one specific thing that has been proven in that sequence of behaviors. Your dog believes that the world is safe enough to explore, and the only reason it believes that is you. In 2020, Ann-Sophie Sundman and her research team in Sweden published a discovery about physiological synchrony. After years of living together, the cortisol levels of dogs and their owners begin to mirror each other. When you are stressed, the stress level of your dog increases accordingly. When you are calm, they become calm as well. You and your dog are sharing a stress response system, not in a metaphorical sense, but in a measurable biological sense. What does that mean for that backward glance? When your dog looks back and sees that you are calm, its body receives a signal. Cortisol goes down. The nervous system normalizes. It is safe to continue exploring. You are not just the person they look back at. You are the biological signal they use to regulate their entire internal state. That glance is not your dog checking to see if you are watching them. That glance is your dog checking to see if the world is still okay. And the answer they are looking for is you. From the beginning of the video, a promise was made about something that most dog owners misunderstand completely. Here is what it is. The secure base check-in does not happen equally with everyone in a household. If your home has multiple people, if there are 2, 3, or 4 people living with the dog, your dog does not look back at everyone with the same frequency. It has one person, one specific person, the person they look back at the most when exploring, the person they naturally orient toward when uncertain, and the person whose presence changes their behavior the most. That is the primary attachment figure of the dog. It is not the person who feeds them the most. It is not the person who plays with them the most. It is not the person they sleep next to most often. It is the person whose nervous system the dog has learned to read most accurately. The person whose emotions have become the reference point for the world around the dog. The next time you are at the park with your dog, observe not just whether they look back. Observe who they look back at first. If that person is you, you already know. Most dog owners love their dogs completely. That is beyond question. But loving and understanding are not the same thing. The gap between those two things, that is exactly why this channel exists to bridge it. Please let us know in the comments section. Does your dog do this? And if your home has multiple people, who do they look back at? Every comment is read. If this video changed how you will observe your dog the next time you are at the park, even just a single thing, please subscribe. That is exactly why this channel exists, every single week.